Alright, what's good, y'all? Soul here, and welcome back to my story mode. So, I'm sure that I have already more than exhausted the fact that we are, yet again, still talking about some of the possibilities when it comes to Pokemon Legends ZA. Albeit a little more dragged out, that's my fault, apologies. There's still surprisingly plenty we can talk about when it comes to this game. Now, naturally, when it comes to Pokemon game announcements, there's so many things that we can speculate on. And when it comes to our case, if we're being honest, it's usually surrounding the same general topics. What kind of customization will we have? What kind of mechanics do we want to see? Are we going to get some kind of gimmick? And if so, what kind? However, because of the existence of Pokemon Legends, there is one very particular question we have yet to ask. You've seen the title and you've seen the thumbnail, so you already know where I'm going with this. I'm super curious as to whose ancestors we might be able to come across in Pokemon Legends ZA. Now, before we get into all that, I feel like I should probably mention one of the more important discussions revolving around Legends ZA. And it's essentially a rumor that it might take place in the future, or it might jump between the future and the past. The purpose of this rumor completely eludes me. I have no idea why this is a thing, but I guess that it's not really impossible for that to be a thing. For anybody that does understand what this rumor is about, feel free to enlighten me on it, because I don't completely understand it, and maybe we could talk about it down the line in a future video, but as of right now, I don't know too much about it, I'll be honest. Anyways, the mention of this discussion is solely because that would mean that it's very possible that if this is a real thing, we might actually see some descendants as well. And if that's the case, then I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there for you guys to assume that anybody that I mention within this video could be an ancestor, or it could be a descendant. It could go either way. It doesn't really matter to me. Okay, so with all that being said and out of the way, why don't you go ahead, sit down, strap in, grab some orange chicken, grab some cream of chicken, and grab some cream cheese, mash that sucker all together for just some kind of concoction, and let's go ahead and talk about some of the ancestors or descendants that I would like to see going into Pokemon Legends ZA. Oh, and for the record, this list has absolutely no form of organization by generation or anything like that whatsoever. I grabbed a couple of characters that I would love to see the ancestry of, and I jotted them down. That's it. To kick things off here, we're going to start off with a very obvious pick, and that one is Professor Sycamore, one that we're very likely to see. Given the fact that he's our primary professor in the Kalos region, it would not shock me if it was his entire family lineage that has always been studying Mega Evolution since it was discovered. Now, of course, it could absolutely be a completely different professor's ancestor or something like that, but considering that Pokemon likes to be at least a little bit consistent across its characters for the most part, I would really like to see it if they actually stuck to it and made it so that his family was actually the one that started the study of Mega Evolution, or continued the study way down the line. Now a little less obvious, actually a little more on the random side, I would love to see Pierre and Marnie's. Both of these characters have a wild style about them, and I would love to see what that would look like in this ancient or very futuristic version of the Kalos region. However, another reason that I would like to see their ancestor and or descendant is because of Pierre's stance on using a gimmick during his time in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Mega Evolution is absolutely going to be a major story point in Pokemon Legends ZA, and I would really like to see Pierre and Marnie's ancestor absolutely reject the idea of utilizing Mega Evolution just for a boost of strength. Again though, we don't know what the trainer situation looks like in Pokemon Legends ZA yet, so I can't really say if that would even make sense as a plot point, but if it is possible to make happen, I would like to see it happen. Another pick that I have from 8th Gen is actually Raihan. I feel like Raihan was another one of those underutilized characters that had a lot of potential in Generation 8, and he had an energy that was so much fun and that I would love to see in more media in general. And so, in turn, I would love to see if that kind of energy and, his taste in, dragon-type Pokemon stems all the way back to either ancient times or follows his ancestry line all the way down to the future. We love our super tall dark man with shark teeth. What an absolute unit. Going back to some more obvious picks, I would actually like to see Korrina's ancestor involved in this story. Now again, it's been a very, very long time since I've played 6th Gen, so I don't remember all the nitty-gritty details about a lot of these characters. So correct me if I'm wrong, but her family lineage does have something to do with Mega Evolution, right? I don't recall if it was ever directly correlated or anything like that, but when you're going up the Tower of Mastery to meet with Karina to battle her with a Mega Lucario, there's an NPC in there that tells you that a long time ago, a trainer accompanied by a Lucario came to Kalos and they discovered Mega Evolution. So I have to imagine that that's most likely going to be Karina's ancestor. Again, I could absolutely be wrong, but her involvement with the tower and with Mega Evolution and stuff like that, her becoming the successor of Mega Evolution and stuff like that, it kind of seems like the cards are all laid out on the table for that plotline, right? They probably wouldn't do stuff like that if her character wasn't innately important to the entirety of the concept of Mega Evolution. If she's not, that would just be kind of wild, to me personally. One way or another, if I don't see some kind of blonde individual wandering the streets with a Lucario that can Mega Evolve, I would be pretty shocked. After that, I have to warn you, the next couple are a little more on the random side, solely because I just enjoy these characters for the most part and would like to see more of them, or at the very least a little bit of their ancestry or their descendants. This pick here is a little more on the unlikely side, solely because I feel like they would utilize him more for a dedicated Gen 5 project, but regardless, I would like to see N's ancestor or descendant. N's entire plotline in Generation 5 is about his strong connection to Pokemon, and so I feel like that's a very easy thing to utilize for a storyline when it comes to Mega Evolution in Legend ZA. Hell, as a matter of fact, as we've talked about a couple of times now, they've made it very clear that you need a pretty strong connection with your Pokemon to even utilize Mega Evolution. So, in that sense, who's to say that it's not N's ancestor that showed up with a Lucario, found the Megastone, and was the first to properly utilize Mega Evolution? When you think about it like that, maybe it's not really all that much of a stretch. Overall, though, I think it would be really cool to see where this very strong connection to Pokemon even originated from when it comes to their family history, because N was the only one who seemed to get it as heavily, because that didn't appear to be as much as a problem that gets this, but I don't know, I could be wrong on that. Next pick that I would absolutely love to see is Hau. No real particular reason other than I enjoy Hau's presence throughout Pokemon Sun and Moon. He was a fun little guy, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't a necessarily challenging rival or even necessarily like a real rival like Gladion was in that sense, but he was a fun guy, and I would love to see that energy spread throughout Pokemon Legends ZA. Somebody to uplift us, you know, maybe that best friend that's coming with us on our journey. Hell, maybe an actual rival, who knows? But I would love to see that Hau energy just in Legends ZA, because why the hell not? And since we're talking 7th Gen, I would love to see where Lusamine originated from. Now, of course, I'm fully aware that everything that happened with her in 7th Gen is because of what happened in her life. That wasn't necessarily like an ancestry thing or anything like that. She went crazy because, you know, the loss of her husband and stuff like that, and, you know, Nihilego, like, pretty much mind warping her into making it love it more than her own children. You know, that's a plot thing. That's not like an ancestor or relative thing. So I guess my pick really just boils down to design, because I would just really like to see that character with a crazy hairstyle and stuff like that, just kind of, you know, being around. I think it would be a lot of fun, because why not? And then my final pick really is truly very random, but I would like to see Archie and or Maxie's ancestors or descendants. Their characters were very whatever in the original 3rd Gen for me, but in the remakes and in like any animated format in like Generations and stuff like that, Maxie and Archie were insane, dude. And I would love to see where that insanity stemmed from, if possible. If we had both, even better. If their rivalry stemmed from like generations ago, I would be ecstatic to see something like that. And I feel like utilizing that here would be crazy, especially because it wouldn't be all that crazy to utilize their ancestry in this, considering the fact that they were both obsessed with Groudon and Kyogre, who do technically have like these crazy origin forms that are somewhat similar to Mega Evolution in a way. Not really, if we're being real, but I feel like that could absolutely have some kind of tie-in, especially because we gotta remember, we've been in a different timeline since the Gen 3 remakes. Remember when they told us that? So, in this sense, it wouldn't be all that crazy to believe that maybe one of their ancestors are the ones that brought Mega Evolution from Kalos to the original version of Hoenn. Still crazy, probably a stretch, who knows? I haven't played Gen 3 remakes in a very long time, so maybe it's already been explained, but if it hasn't, I feel like that would be a great way to do it. But, you know, maybe that's just me throwing out some nonsense. Y'all know me by now. So I think that just about does it for that one there. For the most part, I think this is a very random topic. This is just something that I have yet to see anybody talk about, and if they have, I've completely missed it. But regardless, there are some characters that I would love to see get more time in the limelight, and I feel like at least this way, they're getting some kind of recognition, because I liked what they did in Pokemon Legends Arceus, making us guess, like, oh, who is this person related to? Is this person related to them or whatever? And it was just so fun to have something like that. So, I think I would be pretty pleased if they were to pull something like that again with Pokemon Legends ZA, and tying that into some, you know, really important story points from previous games and stuff like that. That's always so cool to see. That's always so much fun, but hey, that's just me. So that just about wraps it up for this one. This one is absolutely more along the shorter lines of my videos lately, because, you know, you guys know me, I usually make like at least 15-20 minutes, but you know what, we didn't need to go on for that long. And there's a lot of other things that I would like to get to too. There's a lot of projects that I would like to get working on going into summer and stuff like that. So, you know, we'll get to that when we get to that. But, you know, regardless, I'm just rambling. I'm gonna go ahead and stop that, pick the mic up, and pass that sucker over to you so you guys can tell me everything that you guys are thinking in the comment section below. Do you believe that we'll see any of the ancestors and stuff like that I have listed on this list here, or do you think that I'm delusional? We're probably not going to see any of them. It's probably going to be mostly 6th gen related folks and stuff like that. Tell me everything that you guys are thinking in the comment section below, because you know for a fact that I am always going to be down there with you guys. But with that, it does appear to be Skedaddle O'Clock. I just hit my hand like it was the Omnitrix or something like that. But it does appear to be Skedaddle O'Clock. So, I would like to thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the do me the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment, and consider subscribing for more content just like this here. And with that, I'm Gonzo. Thanks again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest favor of taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time.